I think I'm just gonna play the Jimmy video while we think about it. Stop linking for now. Let's want to see this.
One of the best things that can happen to a young basketball player in their career is get compared to Michael Jordan. One of the worst things that can happen to a young player in their career is get compared to Michael Jordan.
You guys often compared me to Michael Jordan. You know, when I was starting to stream, you guys were always talking about how Atrioc's like a young Michael. The hair. No, not the hair. I was thinking more of like the athleticism, like the fucking physicality, the aggression, the competitiveness. Not anyway like the hair, really, because I have a full head of hair and he's bald, so.
Every player that gets compared to MJ and is successful in the NBA, there's 5 more who fall a mile short and make the comparison seem blasphemous in the first place. Anthony Edwards is the latest player added to this list of hopeful Jordan successors. Only this time.
From a fucking marketing POV, the NBA is pushing this so hard. They are pushing so hard that Anthony Edwards is the next Michael Jordan. The guy's so fucking young. It feels way too early. They're just like.
It feels real. I mean, the memes and the jokes were funny at first, but now this is just getting uncanny. The highlights, the trash talking, the swagger, the charisma. Being compared to the best player to ever touch a basketball is an impossible task for any player to live up to. And yet, we can't help but to make the comparison. So, how similar is Anthony Edwards to a young Michael Jordan? Is this comparison even warranted?
I'm already knowing what this video is going to be. He's going to be like, Anthony Edwards has incredible stats. Look at him here. But Michael Jordan, and then he's going to zoom out, and it's going to be like way an outlier, and then it's going to be Michael Jordan makes these stats look terrible. And you know what? I'm here for it.
Or is this gold standard still as unattainable and unrealistic as ever? Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. With the NBA playoffs heating up.
Ethical skip? Ethical skip?
If your team loses, offering playoffs, and have members use promo code and bonus. In 1995, a young guard from California was making a name for himself in the basketball world. As a junior in college, the kid was considered by some to be the best college basketball player in the country. And with his 6'5" all-in-one shooting guard package, it was only a matter of time before the infamous comparison to Michael Jordan was made. Later on, we would learn that despite his incredible skill set and Hall of Fame pedigree, the Michael Jordan comp was never really warranted. You might be familiar with this player. His name was Ray Allen. And looking back, outside of playing the same position, there wasn't much he and MJ had in common. But this wasn't the first, and surely not the last time a player received a Jordan comp. In 1986, Ron Harper might have been the first player to ever be called the next Michael Jordan. The closest Harper ever got to Jordan was playing with him. Harold Miner was compared heavily to Jordan coming out of USC in 1992. One season and a bad injury later, Miner would become a cautionary tale for anyone eager to dub a player as the next Michael Jordan.
Who the fuck's Harold Miner?
This did not stop people from dubbing players as the next Michael Jordan. In 1993, Penny Hardaway received the comp.
Okay, well, obviously most people don't get it, but I feel like, you can be honest with me here, I feel like I've lived up to it in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? I know you guys put lofty expectations on me. We're like, Atrioc the next Michael Jordan. But I feel like a few years in, it's like, oh, maybe Michael Jordan was kind of like, almost like he wanted to be Atrioc in the future. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like I've already superseded that. It's like, who's the next Atrioc almost?
Next year, it was Grant Hill. A couple years after that, it was Jerry Stackhouse. In 1997, Vince Carter was named the next Michael Jordan. And this time around, it actually felt like it might become a real thing. A 6'6" high-flying shooting guard out of North Carolina. That sounds awfully familiar. But despite putting together a Hall of Fame career, Vince Carter, just like every player that came before him, was in fact not the next Michael Jordan. Around the turn of the century, it was Kobe Bryant who was next up as Jordan's successor. Jordan was out of the NBA by now, and the league was in desperate search of a new poster child. Kobe Bryant came just in the nick of time. Kobe said he modeled his game after MJ, a statement that seemed like a far-fetched attempt to draw comparisons to the greatest player of all time from a 19-year-old kid. But with every passing season, Kobe hadn't just become like Mike. He became a carbon copy of Mike. 20 years later, Kobe Bryant built a legacy of his own, but he still remains.
There's a funny clip where they ask Michael Jordan who he'd like to play in their prime, like his prime, their prime. Who would you play one-on-one? Like, and would you be able to beat him? And he's like, you know, I might play LeBron in his prime, play whatever. And he's like, the only one who could possibly beat me is Kobe because he stole all my moves. He said he'd beat everybody else in history one-on-one. It's a pretty funny clip.
The closest thing we have ever seen to Jordan. Since then, there's been a few more ill-advised next Michael Jordans. LeBron has been
Air Atrioc clears. I mean, you're saying it, not me, but like, I feel like these guys were good for their time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Kobe was good for his time. Jordan was good for his time. But like, now it's time for the White Mamba. Okay, it's the White Mamba's era, and I feel like I've just got something different because I've got their moves and I've also got my moves.
Compared to Michael to the extent that you can't say one of their names in a sentence without mentioning the other. Dwayne Wade generated Jordan comps after his championship run in 2006, but that's about it. After 2 decades of attempting to find the next Michael Jordan, the basketball world settled into the fact that maybe the next Michael Jordan didn't exist. And even worse, giving a young kid the comparison was almost a curse that would mentally handicap them from becoming their own player. After LeBron in the mid-2000s, it became this sort of unwritten rule to compare any player to Michael Jordan. Not only because it usually didn't make any sense, but because the track record of Jordan's successors was looking pretty bleak. Oddly enough, most players who received the comp didn't actually play or act or look or carry themselves like Mike. They were just really good, sort of, kind of like Mike. Which brings us
Kobe
to today,
sort of was the next
and this
Michael
guy,
Jordan,
who is the first player in about 15 years to be tagged with the infamous next Michael Jordan label. I mean, come on. We all see it. The similarities are striking, but due to the history of this comparison, no one wanted to be the first to actually say it. But in the midst of the postseason run he is putting together right now, we're all thinking the same thing. Anthony Edwards reminds us of Michael Jordan. And this time, we don't need to be baited into this comparison or hastily rushed into it. Ant is shoving the comp into our faces every time he steps on the court.
Sheesh.
The high-flying acrobatics, the overwhelming scoring barrages and lightning-quick first step, the cutthroat trash talk, the irrevocable confidence, even the commercials, the energy, the charisma, where others seem to always be leaving 1 or 2 boxes unchecked. Anthony Edwards pretty much checks them all. Some fans are even saying he looks like MJ, which he doesn't, but for the sake of fun, we'll let them run with that. According to Chris Broussard, who reached out to Jordan earlier this season, even Michael Jordan said he sees the similarities between himself and Anthony Edwards.
they're just both black.
Well, I reached out to the GOAT today, Michael Jordan, and Jordan said there are similarities in their games. He agreed. So Jordan said there's similarities, all right?
And in many interviews over the past year, Edwards has addressed the comparison, stating, although he can't deny it and he sees the similarities, he would rather it all just stop. But when you're doing the things Ant is doing right now, how could we possibly help ourselves? Now, Edwards has only played in 18 career playoff games, not enough to crack any all-time NBA postseason leaderboards. But we can see how Ant stacks up against MJ through his first 18 playoff games, where despite Ant being historically great, Michael Jordan is still in a completely different tier of his own. He scored more, rebounded more, made more assists, pretty much every metric outside of shooting efficiency. Mike was on another level. Michael had a far worse team to start his playoff career, which probably led to him being required to do more on the court. But there is no denying that he is still the gold standard, even from the very beginning of his career. And this is where a lot of people get caught up in this whole comparison. Ant is incredible. He's what the NBA needs right now. But Michael Jordan was pretty unanimously the best player in the NBA by his 3rd season. And by his 4th season, he had already made an all-defensive team, multiple All-NBA teams, won Defensive Player of the Year, and a league MVP. Anthony Edwards is great, but he is projected to make an All-NBA team for the first time this year in his 4th season in the league. How could we possibly compare a young star who is just now ascending?
It's crazy because, like, I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan level yet, but like I've been all defense twice. I've been an all-star 3 times, and I don't even play in the NBA. They just keep voting me in. So it's like do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that hard. I did it so quickly. Who's the next? Faker is the Michael Jordan of league. No. Michael Jordan, when he was coming up in the NBA, said, my dream is to be like Faker one day. I want to be the Faker of basketball. Don't try to fucking flip the script on this.
Ascending to superstar status to the greatest player of all time. According to
MJ had a poster of Faker on his wall growing up. Yes. Decades before Faker was born, Michael Jordan had a poster of him on his wall.
Basketball Reference's similarity score metric, the most similar player to Michael Jordan throughout NBA history was Oscar Robertson. But this metric only considers the shape and quality of a player's career, not how they actually played or their skill set. If we refer to Crafted NBA's historical similarity app, which factors in everything a player does on the court, from their defense to their offense to their efficiency and creation and everything in between, the closest thing to Michael Jordan in year 4 was Clyde Drexler in 1988, followed by a bunch of Kobe and Dwayne Wade seasons. If we limit our list of eligible candidates down to the pace and space era or the last 10 NBA seasons, then the most similar player to MJ is actually 2015 Jimmy Butler, followed by Oladipo in 2016, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 2020, and Bradley Beal in 2018. Anthony Edwards doesn't even crack this list until the 7th and 8th spots with his 2022 and 2023 seasons.
That is kind of close.
So again, why now and why him of all players to resurrect
2
this
years in a row,
next
too.
MJ tag? Well, because being good and even playing a similar game is just a sliver of what makes Anthony Edwards like Mike. In terms of play style, Ant is probably closer to a young Dwayne Wade than he is to Jordan. And I think most fans are aware of this. But for a lot of fans, it's not that Anthony Edwards plays exactly like a young Michael Jordan. It's that he makes us feel the same way a young Michael Jordan made fans feel 35 years ago. He doesn't just put together crazy dunks, he electrifies the crowd and gets us on our feet. The kind of moments that leave you and your buddies buzzing about long after the game is over. He doesn't just take over games, he talks trash while he's doing it, and he's got a pretty solid track record of backing it up. He's not just a part of a winning team. At just 22 years old, he is leading a winning team. He's not just really good. He's hungry and he's driven, and his larger-than-life character and skill set and flair only grow larger in the biggest moments. Even off the court, his mannerisms, mentality, and personality have Jordan written all over it. Being incredible on the court isn't the defining factor that provokes MJ comps with Edwards. In fact, even before Ant was dropping jaws on a contending team, many scouts and analysts made note of how eerily similar Edwards was to a young Jordan, dating all the way back to 2021, and long before we knew he would be this special.
All the way back to
Anthony
2021
Edwards reminds
is
us of Jordan isn't saying we think he's going to win 6 titles or be the greatest player of all time.
So recent.
It's saying that we saw Michael Jordan play, and now we're seeing Anthony Edwards play, and the similarity.
He's young and he's succeeding, therefore I don't like him. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys are older than him, and you're not in the NBA yet. What are you doing with your life? Okay, you're not even getting a Michael Jordan comparisons. A true sports fan.
Are just staring us in the face. Now, one thing I know for certain is that people who watched Michael Jordan play are the last people.
I've been called the Michael Jordan of chatting. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you, GOAT. I'm not talking to you, Go. You're crushing it. You've become one of the all-time great chatters. Your legacy is apparent for all to see. You're clearly on a rising star headed to the top. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody else.
People on earth to say anyone.
I would have made it to the NBA if I hadn't got addicted to Grand Theft Auto heists. Damn, bro. Think of how many things we could have had. Think of how many more amazing players, how many more scientists we would have had they not invented Grand Theft Auto heists.
Plays or resembles Jordan in any way. I mean, the guy is referred to as Black Jesus to some former players, for crying out loud. So even when former players begin to come out and rave about the similarities between him and Anthony Edwards, you can bet the comparison is as warranted as it's ever been. See, not every player that garnered a Michael Jordan comparison is similar to the next. There are players that play like Jordan, the footwork, the mid-range game, getting to the rim. There's players that act like Jordan, the psychotic competitors. There's the players that move like Jordan, the freak athletes. And then there's players who got compared to MJ for almost no other reason besides the fact that they were really good. There have been many players to fulfill 1, 2, maybe 3 of these attributes, but no one has ever quite lived up to all 4. Here's an overly complicated diagram of these proclaimed Jordan successors, which boxes they checked and where they fell short. Players that acted like him, the freak athletes, players who were really good, and everything in between. Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, and Penny Hardaway got Jordan comparisons early on, but outside of just being really good, they didn't really have anything in common with MJ. DeRozan, Harold Miner, and Jerry Stackhouse played like Jordan, but they weren't quite the freak athlete that Jordan was. On the other end, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, and Ron Harper were freak athletes early in their careers, but that alone should have never been enough evidence to deem them the next Michael Jordan. But when you pair some of these attributes together, we'll start to find players who came closer to the Jordan comparison. LeBron, McGrady, Vince, Derrick Rose, and Len Bias were all freak athletes who were really good, but they didn't really play like Jordan, and they weren't psychotic with their approach on winning. Kawhi Leonard plays like Jordan, and he's really good, but he's an emotional robot with a 29-inch vert. Which leaves us with 3 players who have probably come closer to the Jordan comp than anyone else since Jordan's departure from the league. Dwayne Wade, who had a fairly similar game to Jordan, was really good and was a freak athlete. And Kobe Bryant and Jimmy Butler, who play like Jordan, were and are really good respectively, and are both cutthroat competitors like Jordan was. But that's about as close as you're gonna get. Because Jimmy Butler isn't a freak athlete, and neither was Kobe. In fact, Kobe was often praised for making the most of his abilities despite not being nearly the athlete Jordan was. And amongst all of these players and attributes, right now, Anthony Edwards is probably right about here. He acts like Jordan, he's a freak athlete, and he's really good. But he doesn't really play all that much like Michael did. There's definitely flashes of a young MJ in his game, with his ability to play above the rim, blow past defenders with a lightning quick first step, and of course the mind-melting posters. But just like everyone else that came before him, there are, of course, differences that separate Anthony Edwards from a young Michael Jordan. With that being said, these few differences aren't nearly enough to beat the allegations of similarities. Some people have mentioned that they never saw MJ play live, but watching Ant might be what it must have felt like. Fans that did watch MJ play testify that it was in fact just like this. With a generation of megastars entering the last stages of their careers, fans of the NBA have been speculating who the new face of the league might be. And there's a lot of great...
It's about to be all Zoomers, bro. It's so close. It's so close to everyone I'm watching being younger than me. It's so close to LeBron and Steph retiring, and it's going to be all these fucking Zoomers, bro.
Candidates. Maybe it's Tatum or Luka. It was looking like it might be Ja Morant for a moment, but the off-court issues have stunted that option. SGA put up a Jordan-esque stat line this...
When LeBron retires, we drink the Kool-Aid. That is true. When LeBron retires, it's all over, bro. I'm not going to make it to the NBA, even though I'm putting all the work in now in this past 1 week.
This year, so maybe it's him. Jokic has been the best player in the league for the last few years, but I'm not sure if anyone would consider him the face of the NBA. Because being the face of the best basketball league in the world is about more than just being the best player in the league. You need charisma, marketability. You need to resonate with the masses. You need to put together big moments and absurd highlights that inspire even non-NBA fans. We want to know that you love the game just as much as we do. Commercials and endorsements.
That's so funny. It is just funny how Jokic just doesn't seem to love the game. He's just so fucking good at it. But I guess I can see why that's off-putting, because there's like kids that, you know, grow up dreaming of being in the NBA. You know, they got the posters. If I were in the NBA, that'd be an absolute dream. And then you see the best player in the world be like, yeah, I can't wait to get off. Get off work. I just want to spend time with my horses. I just want to play League of Legends top lane. I just need to clock in.
Candid and endearing interviews that connect with the fans. A no-excuse workhorse mentality with a superhuman set of skills to contrast it. Kobe Bryant only won one MVP in his 20-year career, but he was the face of the NBA for about a decade. LeBron carried the torch for the majority of some of our lives, and despite not being the best player in the world anymore, he's still probably the face of the league. Steph was as likable and relatable and inspiring as a superstar can get. A very unexpected but revered face of the NBA for many years. Anthony Edwards looks like he might just be the next player to grab the torch and lead the league into a new era. The kid's got the whole package. His team loves him, the league loves him, the fans love him. Maybe because he ignites us, inspires us, and reminds us of why we all love the game. But maybe it's also because he reminds us of a player who did all of those things years ago.
Racismo towards Europeans, goddamn. I will say, yeah, there's definitely like some, I don't know, spoken or unspoken resentment that that Jokic and Doncic are doing so good. I don't think it's really a racism thing. I think it's more like a, I don't know. Maybe it's a Euro poor thing. Lucas Remarkable. Yeah, I agree. American pundits are pissed it's Eastern Europeans. We won the Cold War and now Eastern Europeans are dominating the NBA? It's a fucking tragedy, dude. Jokic looks too good. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's funny. It really is funny how he looks like he's so bad at the game. Jokic highlights, it just always goes in. He looks like a big bumbling, I don't know. It's he looks clunky, but the ball always goes in. He's clunky, but he's got a nice touch. Yeah, I mean, he's the best player in the league, bro. There's a one famous tweet from last finals where someone said he looks like a fat kid that got picked last when he shoots, but it always seems like it ends up going in. Yeah, it's like it's like he found a genie. It's like that's like just makes it so no matter where he throws it, it goes in. And so we're watching some dude that just fucking yeah, that's someone got the Space Jam basketball. Yeah, he has the my yeah, dude, it feels like a movie. And he plays League of Legends. That's the craziest fucking part. Wasn't he like a chubby kid who went to practice for a while? I mean, he doesn't want to practice now. What rank is he? He never said. We know that Luka is really good at Overwatch, but we don't know if Jokic is actually good at League. I like to think he plays at fucking silver level and just rages. It is the funniest thing in the world to me to imagine a person that is, you know, multi-millionaire NBA star of the league goes home and to unwind is just fucking solo queuing top, raging and I think it's so funny, dude. Yeah, like SBF. That's probably why he's miserable. Yeah, maybe he just played League of Legends that day. What do you say if your top laner is inting and he comes back with, I'm the best basketball player in the world? That would not stop any rager in League. That would not stop them. They would start pulling up any fucking bad highlights. They would start. I mean, back in my League of Legends rage days, that would just begin. I would I would try to find old tweets. I'd talk shit on Serbia. I'll do anything. Back in my rage days, bro, I just wanted to fucking tear them down. I would find their fucking, I would Google their name, their username, try to find their fucking Twitter account. I'd talk shit on horses. That's psychotic? Yeah, it was psychotic, bro. League of Legends was my life. I cared more about winning League of Legends games than anything else. And so when I would lose because somebody was inting, I would feel like they were personally robbing me. I would feel like they were stealing from me. I would get my I would give full fucking fight mode. And I had nothing else going on in my life that would make me understand that it's all just a game. I would be like just so focused. This is everything. So he plays League like MJ.